Okay. Yes, thank you guys. My name is Callie Johns. I kind of feel like I'm the bad teacher right now by like sitting. You know how like the principal walked in or something, you're like, whoop. But okay, so Callie Johns, I am from Chicago, as Oscar said. I have my email information there. I also have two handouts for you guys. There is a Britannica school guided tour. It kind of takes you through everything that we're going to talk about today. It's a good reference tool if you're like, what was she talking about with that click dictionary? On the back, there's a spot for notes and also for presenter name and email. Unfortunately for you guys, I printed out my coworkers. So I am not Jennifer Keating. She's a great coworker. But you can write my email down there as well. And that's just if you have any questions or anything like that, you can always feel free to shoot me an email. Your other handout is a See, Think, Wonder graphic organizer, and if we have time, we're going to go through those. A little bit about myself. I taught second and third grade on the south side of Chicago for 7 years. I taught fifth grade for 1 year, and I was like, put me back down with my babies, please. So that being said, I am used to interruptions, right? Second and third graders. So feel free to ask questions along the way. If you need me to show anything again, I definitely can. My style of presenting is kind of I do, we do, you do kind of a thing. So I'll show you, and then I definitely will give you guys time to click around. I want you to get into the resource and play around with it as well. What else? Is that all I have? Ask questions, and here we go. Okay. So a little bit, obviously, our mission, we just really want to ignite curiosity and spread the joy of discovery. You actually have two Britannica resources through the California State Library. You have Britannica School, which is what we'll spend most of our time on today. It is our K through 12, 12th grade database, encyclopedia database. You also have Britannica Escolar. So that is our K through 8th grade fully Spanish database. So everything is in Spanish there. The videos, the searches would be performed in Spanish, things like that. So again, we'll take a look at that as well. So Oscar, a little bit more about Britannica School before we get started. We do have 3 learning levels. There's an elementary, a middle, or a high school level. Students are not restricted, obviously, to a level, but you can direct them into one. Britannica, right? So we obviously have encyclopedia articles. We have 140,000. But in addition to that, you're going to get photos, primary source documents, journals and magazines, things like that. So a lot of really great content. We do have what's called responsive design. So regardless of the device that students are accessing the information on, it will shrink to fit the size of the screen. And that's really because we know not all students have a computer at home, but most of them have an iPad or a smartphone. And so if they know how to get on the resource at school, they can have that same experience on the phone, okay? Yep. And then our reputation precedes us being safe, reliable, and up to date. When I got this job, my friends were like, oh, are you going door to door selling encyclopedias? And I was like, no, but that would be a really great Halloween costume. So at my first corporate Halloween party, I won 3rd place because I dressed up as a door to door salesman. $25 in that 3rd place gift card. Yep. But of course, we update our information. Our editors, we love to brag about them. They update or add new about 1,200 articles a month. So you really are getting a lot of up-to-date content there. Okay, again, just because it's such a good time to talk about fact-based information, I like to put this slide up here. It really just talks about our editorial process, and you can just see that there's a number of times they're going through fact-checking and different editorial groups. So this is why, I think I said this is our 250th year, our anniversary. Did I say that? Did I tell you guys that yet? Yes. We've been around for 250 years this year. So we're pretty proud of that. Okay, Oscar mentioned a little bit about access information. So I know we have different districts here. One thing you're going to do at your district is to get access, you can go to teachingbooks.net CA setup, and that's going to give you access to all your vendor content. So ProQuest, your teaching books, things like that. I also have remote access usernames and passwords for each district. So that will be something, if you're in attendance today, I can give you that personally before you leave. And if you're joining us via the webcast, you can email Oscar and we can get you that remote access. The remote access is going to be needed for students, right? If they are accessing the resource at home, not through a district device. The only thing about this remote access username and password that I'm going to give you is that it cannot be posted anywhere for violations of contracts or anything like that. So it's something that you can write down, give it to them, but you can't have it on your classroom website or your school website or anything like that, okay? All right, so we are going to get into the resource. Once we fill out this teachingbooks.net, another way you can get to the resource is just by going to school.eb.com, okay? So school.eb.com is one of the resources. If you're joining us in the lab today and you go there, you may need it might be a blue screen, and you'll see username and password needed. I see it written down. I don't think to say that, yes. Okay, so this is our streamlined homepage. Obviously, students can enter any level that they'd like. You can direct them. I'm going to work off the middle school level today just because it kind of cuts, the grades in half. But I do want to say that everything I show you will be available at all 3 learning levels. And when I give you time to play, you'll be able, go into your level. Make this useful for you, okay? So you can see that I can perform a search directly from this page, or I can enter into my level. So I'm going to click on middle. And we'll talk about the homepage features a little bit later on, but the first thing I want to do is just perform a search for you. So I'm going to go up to the top search bar, and I'm going to type in Thomas Jefferson, because I am still on a Hamilton kick. I can't get over it, and I don't want to get over it. So you'll see my recommended articles pop up. If I want to go directly into my article, I'd click on that. If I want to see all of my search results, I'm going to perform a search, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm just going to click on that search icon. A couple things about this page. At the top, you'll see these leveled tabs. We performed a search at the middle school level, so we're looking at our level 2 content. But we all know that we have students that are reading below grade level. Instead of having to go back out, go to the elementary level, re-perform a search on Thomas Jefferson and get that content, they can actually click on level 1 and get that elementary content here. If they know all the information, they can jump up and go to level 3, which is the high school level. I love this for a couple of reasons. One, if we go into the elementary level, you'll see it's very bright and engaging. So no middle schooler, no one walking by can see that I'm reading a lower level. And I just love that piece, that social emotional piece that's kind of built in there. And it tells them, differentiate for yourself. Use what's a good fit for you. All right, we're going to take some time to go through the icons along the left-hand side of the screen. So we'll come back to our article in just a bit. We have our images. We also have our videos, and this is another place I like to use those leveled tabs. The important thing to remember about each of the levels is that they are their own database. So it's really 3 different databases of content that you have. So you might find a different video at the high school level that fits your need better than what you're looking for at the middle school level. We also have our dictionary. Now, Thomas Jefferson doesn't have a definition, but it's courtesy of Merriam-Webster, and you will get the pronunciation as well. And then next we have journals and magazines. So these are courtesy of EBSCO, and they are more sources of informational text, a great place to send students. What you need to know about these is if there's a PDF version. So you'll see most of these have a PDF version, but not all of them do. If you have a PDF version, typically you're going to want to use that because it means that there's images associated with the journal or magazine, and usually for students they need those to make sense of the text, right? If this provides a lot more content for me than if I would have just clicked on the title, Jefferson's Vision. It stays within Britannica School, and it's just the text. So you can see why that PDF version is helpful. All right, moving right along, we also have our Web's Best Sites. So these are websites that, two things, they can be found anywhere on the internet, but our editors have said, hey, these are safe for students to go to, and also they've tagged them with the appropriate searches. Little information literacy kind of built right into the searching process. I always tell this story. I will never forget, I had a student, we were studying second grade, baby chicks, and he went to Google, and of course he just typed in chicks, and you know, armpit sweating, you close the computer, maintain composure, but this is a really great place to kind of let them explore a little bit more there. All right, and then moving on, we have our primary sources and ebooks. These are full text documents, so I can go here to the State of the Union addresses that he has given, pull up the text there. So they add, you know, content, obviously, but also context to some of the discussions you're already having within your schools and your classrooms. All right. I'm going to go back to articles at the top because I want to show you another really helpful feature. You have to be clicked on articles for this to work, but at the bottom here, there's a Lexile filter. When I see smiles, and that always makes me happy. When I click on the Lexile filter, two things happen. So the first thing that happens is that a range pops up, and I can manipulate my search results based on how I adjust that range. The other thing that happens is that the Lexile measure pops up next to each of the articles. Okay, so when we're thinking about putting information in front of students that's at their level, that's obviously going to be a helpful tool. If any of you are librarians that are watching, I know you guys are often tasked with getting teachers to get on the resources. This is a really good kind of thing to show educators they love this piece. Any questions about your search results? Okay, we need more coffee in this room. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm going to go into my Thomas Jefferson article. And again, all of the features that I show you are available at all three levels. I'll let you know if anything's different. I like to start with the toolbar. At the elementary level, it's a toolbox. And there's a number of really great tools here. So the first tool we have is a way to share any of the articles. And you have three options for that. You can save it to your own My Britannica account. It's a personal account. I like to think of it as my online file cabinet when I'm searching and I'm like, oh, in November I'm going to teach this, or oh, that will be great for Earth Day, whatever it is. I'm not logged into that account right now. If I click on this favorite star, it just prompts me to log in. We're going to log in a little bit later, okay? I can also just email any of the articles, or if you're a Google school or you have a teacher that's using, you know, a Google Classroom, you can save directly to your Google Classroom. You can save any article, any image, or any video directly to your Google Classroom. And being able to save to your Google Drive is coming. So that's just something to keep in mind. We can also print any of the articles. All of our articles, all of our images, and all of our videos have automatic citations, and they're all marked by the same icon, a square with a check in it. So when I click on that, I get my 4 different citation styles: MLA, APA, Harvard, and Chicago Manual of Style. I'll simply choose that, and then the citation is provided. And this is available even at the elementary level, and I love that because we can start scaffolding that conversation, you know, leaving space that you'll know how to do this one day, but why this is important, okay? We are updated, MLA 8, all of that is good there. Our next feature is this little world icon. It's actually a translation piece. So I can translate this article into one of 82 different languages. So I'm just choosing traditional Chinese here. You'll see that the full article is translated. At the top, everything, all the tabs, everything is translated as well. If you want to get back to your original article, you just click on Show Original at the top, and I can actually kind of toggle between the two if I need to. Okay? All right, our second to last feature is a read aloud function. So we know that informational text tends to skew a little higher on that Lexile level. Some of this might be still a little hard for students, but we can.
Introduction.
We do have sound.
The author
Good.
of the Declaration
So
of Independence in 1776, Thomas.
I can't listen and speak and think with her on, so I'm turning her off. But you'll see the text is highlighted for the students. It's great, obviously. Auditory learners can take notes while the article is being read to them. Fluency practice even, right? You can read along with the highlighted portion of the text there as well. And then our last feature is an increase and decrease font option. So if we're using it like today, we can make sure everyone can see it, or if we have littles on the carpet in front of us, they can see it. It's also just really great if a student within their IEP, it calls for that modification of a larger font, you can easily make that, okay? Any questions about the toolbar? Well, okay. Oh, yes, that too. Right, when our glasses need to be updated, our prescription, yes, okay. All right, along the top here, you have your leveled tabs again. And this is where I kind of think it makes the most sense to have them, because here the text is in front of the students, right? So if I'm a student and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is just too overwhelming for me, I can get that elementary content. It's actually the elementary article. It's going to be less information, a lower Lexile, less complex sentences, things like that. All right, the other thing you'll find that I love in all of our articles is something called the Quick Click Dictionary. So if I'm a student and I'm reading along and I come to a word that I don't understand or I need to double check the meaning of, I can double click on any word and I get the definition, the pronunciation, and then also the Spanish translation if there is one, okay? So a really great vocabulary building tool within the text. And people often get confused here. They think that the blue words are the only words you can click on. Those are actually hyperlinks to other full articles. The Quick Click Dictionary works on any word. So if I didn't know what vastness meant, I can click on that, okay? So really great for close reading. Yes? There hasn't been any talk about that yet, but this is a really good time to say so much of our product is driven by educator request, whether that's content or features. Saving to Google Classroom and saving to Google Drive, I would go to trainings, I would hear, oh, can you do that? When I leave a training, I go back and I talk to either editorial or the product, and I say, you know, this is what they asked for. They get a queue. They put that in a queue, and then once they keep hearing it, they build it out. So I will go back and put that in there as well. And that's, again, never feel like you can't email me for something like that. I had a middle school librarian. I got an email last summer saying, you have an article on fracking at the high school, but I'm having all these middle school students come in looking for articles. Can you build one? And I'm like, well, I haven't heard that before, but I put it in the queue. Turns out that had come up a number of times. And so sure enough, editorial wrote a fracking article at the middle school level. So never feel like you can't email me or put requests in, okay?
Yeah, because that academic gap in EL, they have an academic gap. And so this, you know, when you use them for access to language.
Yes. And Escolar is going to be really great for that as well, the other database. So we'll definitely take a look at that, but I'll still put that in there. I'm writing a note to myself right now. Okay. Alrighty. So along the top, we have our articles, we have our images and videos that are a little bit more specific to our topic right now. And when we look at an image, all of these should look pretty familiar, right? We can favorite them, print, email, cite. This is our ability to just copy a link to an image. You can also save that image to the Google Classroom. Let me find a video for you guys. Our videos, in addition to saving them to Google Classroom, you can download them, and they'll download as an MP4 file, so they're really easy to use. And then all of our videos have the full transcript underneath as well. So I love to point that out. Next, we have our Related tab. So this is any person, place, or thing that we have an article on at, in this case, the middle school level related to my topic. So it's good for inquiry-based learning, right? If they have questions about any of these things that they're hearing related to Thomas Jefferson, or if you have to build some background knowledge for students, we know that they might come with gaps, right? So if we have to build some background knowledge for them, they can come here and do that first. And now, if you are a high school person, I'm going to ask you to put your earmuffs on, or put me on mute. No, I'm just kidding. Don't put me on mute. Because this teacher tab is only available at the elementary level and the middle school level. And with this teacher tab, you get two things. You get your Lexile measure if you happen to miss it before, if you didn't use that Lexile range, but you can also see what standards are correlated to your article. So the easiest way to do this is to just go through the drop down. I'm going to choose U.S. state standards. I'm going to get my California content standards. I'm going to choose a subject. I'm going to choose my grade. We'll say 7th grade. And I'm going to click view results. And then my standards pop up, the correlated standards pop up, okay? Now I always get this question as well. Is there a way to backward search, right? Here we started with the article to see what standards correlate. Can I start with a standard and see what articles? And you can do that through the educator tab. So again, it's right at the top here, and it's just choose U.S. state standards. There we go. We'll choose social studies, we'll choose 7th grade again, and then view results. And I'll be able to see what articles correlate there. And you can close them out, open them up, okay? Any questions about the teacher tab? No one wants to ask why we don't have it at the high school level? I get that. It's simply that our high school level just has so much content that it'd be a huge undertaking, they said. Okay, any questions about the features that you're going to find in an article? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes. I want you to perform searches at your level, whatever level you work at. And then after, we've kind of already answered these, but I'm just going to ask what different content sources did you find? So what did you search for? And then also what tools or modification opportunities did you find? Maybe you have a student, I don't want to know the student, but oh yes, I can use that tomorrow, things like that, okay? So we'll give you guys 5 minutes to go through that. And I will get up, or Oscar will walk around. If you need help or have questions, feel free to send them to me. I'm not used to sitting still. Can you tell? Yes. Yes. So when I perform my search, I'm going to go back. If I want to get back to my streamlined homepage, I would click on Britannica School. If I want to get back to my leveled homepage, like my elementary, middle, or high, I just click on that. So when I perform my search, again, I just did Thomas Jefferson, I can get the Lexile 2 ways. Once I'm here, I have to be clicked on articles, and then I can go to the bottom and get my Lexile filter, right? And so now when I go back to Thomas Jefferson, the Lexile is posted there. The other way I got my Lexile measure is once I'm in the article through that teacher tab. You can't get you can get the Lexile filter, right? So if I'm at the high school, that Lexile filter's there, but that teacher tab isn't. Good question. right. What was some of the content you guys searched for? Not all at once, please.
I looked at pandas.
Pandas.
Yeah. And I compared between the middle school and elementary, because we're primarily elementary. We do have 2 middle schools. So.
Great.
See them going back and forth.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share out? No? Okay.
I did try the teacher tab also to check
Oh,
out
good.
content standards.
Good, good. Okay, so we're going to explore the different home pages. I mentioned before, if I want to get back to my leveled home page, I'd click on middle, or if I want to get back to all of them, I'd click on Britannica School. I'm going to do that really quickly. I just want to show you all of the home pages. I'm going to get to elementary. You'll see, very bright, geared for our little ones. And since I'm here, I do want to point out really quickly, just because the elementary articles look a little differently, I'm going to go directly into the article. I just want to point out, obviously you have all of your tools, all of the teacher tab is there. The thing that looks the biggest, there's 2 things that are the difference here. If I jump up, so say I'm a 5th grader reading above grade level, and I actually want that middle school content, it's going to assume that I can handle a higher, interface. I don't need all that. So whereas when we jump down from the middle school, it stays in the interface, in this one, it jumps up to the different environment. So you actually have to go click the back button to get back to the elementary, because what would happen if I just clicked on level 1? It'll keep me here, yes. The other thing that looks the most different at the elementary level is the build of our articles. When we had the full text, our little ones were clicking in and clicking out just as fast. They were too overwhelmed by all of that text in front of them. So we took that table of contents and built it right into the article. And now when I'm done with a certain section, I can click on the next section. The introduction in this case closes, and I can focus my attention on the section that I'm reading, okay? And that read aloud function is still there. It's just at the top of every page. Okay, so let's look at the home pages. Every home page has scrolling activities along the top. They change weekly, and they're all designed to get students into the content. So whether I get an answer right or wrong, it'll say, yes or not quite, and then it'll get you into the article. And then every homepage also has an Explore Britannica section. At the elementary level, I call it my drawer, because when I click on Show More, it kind of pops out, and I have access to the rest of my resources. Some of these are specific to the elementary level. Some of them can be found at every level. The ones that are specific to the elementary level are the Animal Kingdom, the Britannica Learning Zone, and the Geography Explorer. Although, honestly, I think everybody could get on the Geography Explorer, and you'll see why once we look at it. So those are going to be specific to the elementary level. Let me go to my middle school level just to show you. So we have, again, our scrolling activities are up here, our Explore Britannica sections along the right-hand side. And then with the high school level, we have the Explore Britannica section below our scrolling activities, okay? So this is how we're going to go through our home pages. I've divided the features up into 4 categories, and I'm going to give you guys some time and some questions to go through your specific assignment, basically, and then we'll share out on how to use it. So I want this to be useful. You said you're elementary. Is there anyone else is specifically elementary? Okay, so why don't you two be group 1, and feel free to work together. You're going to go through the Animal Kingdom and the Geography Explorer. We'll have you two ladies, you guys can be group 2. You're going to go through the article browse and the media browse, and then we'll have you in the front in the green shirt. You can be group 3, and Oscar or I can help you and come be your partner. You're going to go through the compare countries and the biographies, And then ladies in the back, you will be group 4. You're going to tell us about the World Atlas and the Tour of the USA. And I'll put this back up, but these are the questions I'm going to be asking you. What did you discover? So basically, how do we use it for those people who didn't go, get to explore with those? And then also, how can this feature help to support the student or students? So what did you find and how might you use this? Okay? I'm going to leave these up. I have some folks writing the questions down. And then I will put this back so you can see your specific assignment. And we'll give you guys about, 5 to 7 minutes, and then we'll all share out. It's kind of like a jigsaw here. And you don't have to work together if you don't want to.
Oh, sure.
Oh, I think you're with,
With Cindy? Oh,
yes.
okay, that's right. Okay,
That's okay.
and I will go back there. I know.
Yeah, sorry.
I know, right? Thank you for being so excited. Of course.
So do you want to start with geography?
Sure.
You guys, I'm so happy you have Geography Explorer. It's so good. I love Geography Explorer.
I don't know, Animal Kingdom,
I know.
you can do big research.
Yeah. And I love that because, so like we did a grassland study every second grade, and our reading blocks were, at the same time, and we'd all want the same books, from the library. So it's just,
They're experiencing that right now.
yes. You're group 3.
You have to wait till he's done. We don't have our speakers on, but I figured it.
Oh, yes.
Because I was like, oh, he's still talking. Okay, click. Okay, he's still talking. Okay.
Yes. This is a great headphone station.
Yes. Click to begin. Stage 1.
I can't help that. Just kidding. Okay, let's go ahead and kind of come together and share out what we found. So my group 1 is my Animal Kingdom and Geography Explorer. I'm gonna wait 1 second. I'm gonna get to my elementary level, and then can you help share the group, answer those questions? What did we find with our Animal Kingdom?
We didn't get to the animal kingdom.
Oh, I didn't give you enough time. It's so fun. Okay, I'll take Animal Kingdom. Okay, so when we're looking at the Animal Kingdom, we can explore by group or by habitat. And I love this because obviously, you know, elementary levels, second grade, we always did a grassland study. But of course, our social studies and our reading blocks were synced. So we all wanted the same books out of the library at the same time on that habitat. So with this, when I click on a habitat, I get a short description with a link to read more. But then, of course, any animal and the articles that live in that habitat. So I can go directly to those articles there. Okay? So that is our Animal Kingdom. We also have the related links along the side and the did you know, which people really love. What about, okay, and so the next one is Geography Explorer. And honestly, I think, like I said, I think all levels could be on Geography Explorer. Tell me about Geography Explorer, ladies.
Well, there was a little bit of a learning curve because you have to wait until John is done talking to you before you can actually start the game. But it was very interesting because it starts you off just identifying the continents, and then it takes you into mountains, and so
Yes.
it builds on it.
I love this because maps can be so hard for our students, right? They come with a lot of content already on there. And with this, we build on. So I'm going to play this.
Hi, I'm Jog. I'm off on holiday soon, so can you help me build a map so I know where to go? Come on then, let's go.
So this is Jog. This is a great headphone station, as you can tell. So Jog is going to take us through our 5 stages of learning zone.
Drag the cloud to the continent
Or
you think it
Geography
belongs
Explorer.
to.
So he's telling me to drag the cloud. I drag it on, it gets colored
Well
in.
done.
He also gives me some affirmations. Couple things here. If I get one wrong,
Oops, try again.
he gives me another shot. If I get it wrong again,
Asia is the biggest continent.
he gives me a hint. If I happen to get it wrong a third time,
Oh dear, let's move on.
he keeps things moving along for us, right? So I love this for a couple of reasons. One, students feel it's like a game, right? Because there's time and there's score and there's different stages. Stage 1 is the continents. Stage 2 is oceans. 3 is major rivers. 4 is mountain ranges. And then stage 5 is places you should know. So Great Wall of China, things like that. I also love this
Nice one.
to do a pre and post learning, right? Like kind of have them label the continents, spend some time on this, and then do it again. If students have a question about any of these locations, they can click on the title and then they'll be taken to that article as well. Okay, so you can see if I go
Cool.
through here,
Wicked.
they love that.
Brilliant.
And then we'll be right through stage 1.
Superb.
I do get the question, can you skip a stage ever? And the answer is no, but I just tell the
Excellent
students.
coloring of the continents. Now let's paint the seas and oceans.
Yes, Jack. I just tell the students to beat their time or beat their score or anything like that. So you can see that that's really engaging. And it gets, like I said, there's middle schoolers that could spend time on this as well. Yes, I didn't want to say that, but yes, I feel the same way. Okay, so you guys had so those were the 2 that you had. And then our next group, our group 2, the 2 ladies, we had the article browse and the media browse. And we can find those at any level. So tell me about the article browse. How do I use it?
Well, when you click on it, you have some main topics, as you can see up there, and as you choose one of those topics, it breaks it down into further topics. So you did social studies, so Australian, Canadian, economics, and if you click on those,
Yes. So this is really great when a student has a research report, but it's a little vague and they need to narrow down their topic a bit, right? They can come here and it kind of, again, dials down the topic. You can see here we have, a number of different options. At the middle school and the high school level, there's also a technology option there. So if a STEM initiative is going on in your district, that's a good piece to use there. Okay, so then we went through the article browse. Tell me about the media browse.
Well, we weren't really sure what that was, and then we chose fine arts, and then we went, again, it breaks it down into music.
Yeah, so it's just all of the images and videos, right? So it's set up exactly the same way as the article browse, but it's image and video. So whether I'm beefing up a presentation, whether I am trying to engage my students a little bit more in the content that we're going to be discussing, if I need images for a quiz or anything like that, I can get those. So it's set up exactly the same way as the article browse.
We did wish that there were a little more videos, like we went to opera and there was, we wanted to hear it.
Got it.
We did find a bongo drum person, and we saw some girls tap dancing. We
Well-
saw Elvis Presley under the country category. We were a little confused about Elvis Presley being under the country music
Me too,
category,
yeah.
and he was the only one.
Interesting. Now, I would say if you know what you're looking for, like if she wanted opera videos, your best option would probably be to search opera, right? And then go to the video section that way. But again, it's just another way to kind of get all of those images and videos as well, okay? All right. What about group 3? We had compare countries and our biography browse. And for this, I'm actually going to go to the middle school. Tell me, how do I use compare countries?
So we clicked on compare countries. We chose United States. We were able to compare 2 countries. We chose United States and Canada. And then we quickly get stats for those, what the capital is, form of government, population, area. And then as we scrolled up, we noticed there was an additional tab that said articles and media. So for those 2 countries, you're able to access the full article as well, and any images that are associated with that.
Perfect, absolutely. Now, one thing I do want to point out here is this is available at all 3 levels, but at the elementary level, you don't have the urban to rural population, the life expectancy, literacy percentage, or the GNI per capita. So that's left off at the elementary level. So obviously this is great for country comparisons. I also really like to work on kind of explaining to students asking deeper questions with this, because I call them thin versus thick questions. And I say thin questions you can answer right away, but thick questions you might need to go do research about. So why is the urban to rural population higher in, the United States? So then they can see like, oh, I can't just simply go answer that and get that. I have to go dig and do a little bit more research.
We're wondering why one was more so than the other.
Yes, absolutely. Great. And then you guys also had the biography browse, correct?
Yes, so we started off looking in the middle at high school level.
Yep.
Where you can choose filters by era, culture, nationality, or theme topic, and then come up with a great list. So we kind of exploring the filters, then we went into overall, there's 10,600 and change biographies. And out of that, filtered by gender, there's 1,600 female biographies, or 1,000 biographies, which maybe you guys could do a little better with that ratio. Anyways, and going into the elementary, you didn't have all the filters.
Yes, so
It was just categorized by alphabet.
So the biography browse is really great when you have those students that are interested in a certain topic but do the same research, the same report on the same person, every year. So if I know that I'm a student that I'm interested in this case civil rights or whatever it is, football or anything like that, I can kind of be exposed to a little more still being around that topic, right, or that era, things like that. And as she mentioned, we also do have that gender filter as well. And then one thing she mentioned is, so at the middle and the high school, that's very similar. At the elementary level, it is an A to Z browse. So this here is a little, they would just choose the letter and then go ahead and explore that way. And it's the letter of the first last name. Perfect. Thank you. What about my last group? World Atlas, one of my favorite features, World Atlas and Tour the USA. And just because we haven't spent a lot of time at the high school, I'm going to go there, and I'm going to find my World Atlas. How do I use the World Atlas, ladies?
Pretty simple. You can either just scroll and touch where you want to go, and then click the plus sign on the left and scroll in, or in the find a place, you can say what you want to look at. I really liked the feature on the left-hand bottom.
Mm-hmm.
The Google satellite.
Yes.
That is
So she said you could type a location in or just go ahead and start searching. My sister actually just got back from Paris, so I'm jealous, and we're going to go to Paris today. You get a summary of your location with a link to read the full article. You get that profile, so those important statistics. And then you also get that related tab, once again, any person, place, or thing that we have an article on at this level related to your location. But her favorite way to use it is also my favorite way to use it. And she said, right now we're in map view. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner, we're in map view. We're going to switch it to satellite view. And then I'm going to zoom in. So maybe I'm talking about, really you can get creative. The lay of the land, when different battles, where the fronts were coming and things like that. But what I love to do is in the bottom right-hand corner, you're going to notice this yellow stick figure. I'm going to take this stick figure and I'm going to drag it onto the screen. Any blue dot is a location that I can drop on. Any blue line is a street. So you can see that I just dropped next to the Louvre. So you can really give your students a virtual field trip here. You can even drop inside of some of these locations. I love this piece. I was working with a fifth grader, and we went to the Louvre, and he goes, Wonder Woman was there. And because in the movie, that's where she works. I was like, yes, but then he knew, what the Louvre was. He knew the name. We did some research on it. But you can really, if you want to see how didn't mean to do that. If you want to see how I did that, again, oh my goodness.
Oh, it's like the Google Goggles thing.
Yeah. So you can see I can drag on here. I can drop right in. Just a really kind of cool feature there. Okay? All right. Any questions about your homepage features? All right. Really quickly, I just want to point out some of the other features on the middle school and the high school homepage. We'll start with the high school. We've pulled your Explore biographies and your flash facts. We've pulled those out for you. We also have our new and updated articles. So you can see that even yesterday, there were articles that were updated and new as of yesterday. We've pulled out some U.S. primary sources for easy access. These are the most searched for primary sources. We have a This Day in History. And then also we have direct links from the New York Times. So a really great, for debate classes or anything like that, that's only on the high school page. And then with the middle school homepage, we already went through our scrolling activities and our Britannica, Explore Britannica. We've pulled out Compare Countries, Explore Biographies. I love these Did You Know videos. They are short, basically 40-second long videos, just kind of like boop, 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 did you know type of thing. Then we have, again, the most searched for primary source documents. I also love these at-a-glance articles. They're basically umbrella topics with all the linkable searches underneath. So you get a little overview, and then you have all the articles in one spot surrounded by that on that topic, okay? This is only available at the elementary level and the middle school level, and if you want to see all of them, you just search at a glance, and you'll get presidents at a glance, landforms, there's even mathematics at a glance. So if I click on one, I get all of that information. Okay? I like that piece because you can kind of control the topic but provide choice as well. And then lastly, on the home page at the bottom, you'll see the new and revised articles at the middle school level. So they are going to be, some of them will be the same, but some of them will be different. Okay, so I do have a little bit of a break built in, but before we do that, I just want to show you one other thing. Everything we've done right so far is just getting onto the resource and clicking through. We can really take this a step further if we wanted to, and I have some, I just came up with 2 or 3 different activities to show you of how we might use Britannica School in different ways with students. So with this, I have our See, Think, Wonder graphic organizer, right? I have a standard that I pulled, and then I have the content that we're going to be using is Britannica, our Britannica image. So with this, what I would have my students do, and I'm going to have you guys do this one, but you won't do all of them, I promise. In the left-hand column, you're going to write down everything you see, and you might have to have a discussion about, like, objectively, what do you see? In the middle column, you're going to write down everything you think is going on, and then in the right-hand column, you're going to write down what you wonder about. So I would put an image up, and I'm going to ask you in your graphic organizer, write down everything you see. Or you don't have to write down if you don't want to, but just be ready to share out. They are, and I'll show you where you can find them all. Great question. And then in the middle column, write down what you think is going on. And then in the right-hand column, what you wonder about, what you have questions. So this is going to be our lines of inquiry, right? If this is a student, we're going to go have some questions to search for. All right, so what do we see? 3 women. Inkwells.
Yes.
What else? Boxes, paper. We might see that she has a ribbon, right? We don't know what it says. They all have hats. These are some of the things that students might say. What do you think is going on? Voting. What else? Anything else? One time some guy goes, stuffing the ballot box. And then lastly, what do you wonder about? What questions do you have with this image? Yes. So is this in the United States or is this somewhere else? When was this picture taken? Are they in fact voting, right? So I might use something like this to introduce a topic or a lesson on the suffragette movement, right? Things like that. And now because we've done this, we've done a couple of things for students to help them buy into the research, right? They're using language meaningfully. We want to know the answers, right? I might then provide the caption to this image for them, or we might go to the article. Obviously promotes inquiry. We have, we're engaged, and then also obviously just we have a prompt if we need to start a writing process or a research process, anything with that, okay? So again, you can just kind of see how you can use some of this, not just for finding information, but in different ways. The second activity I have for you, and I didn't print this one out, this is one of my favorites because we know that domain-specific vocabulary can be so hard for students. This graphic organizer is called a word chart context and connection. And so with this, They would choose a word. They would write that definition. Maybe they would use the quick click dictionary for this. Maybe they would use one of their search results. They would choose an image that for them represents the word. So they might use that media browse where it has all those images. They would choose an example where they would probably find this word, and then their text to self connection, how they're going to remember it. So I just did this with climate, and again, remember this is going to be something that's specific for the student. They use their example. They're tying it to when their mom talks about vacation, right? The climate of wherever they're going, things like that. So again, this might be something I do the first time I introduce an article, or with some of the words that they're going to be seeing with their science unit, things like that. Okay? Again, and I will show you where all of these graphic organizers are. Okay, so let's go ahead and take can we do 5 minutes? You're probably not surprised I don't stop talking. So if 5 minutes is doable, the restrooms are down the hall all the way. They have good signage. I found it, so you'll be fine. But we'll come back. We'll be back here at 11:10. Thank you. get started. So we are going to spend the rest of the time discussing, we have our My Britannica account that we're going to look at, and then we're still going to look at Escolar, and we'll look at our corporate homepage, okay? So we're going to talk about that My Britannica account. Couple things about this account before we get signed in and signed up for them. There are two types of accounts. There's a student account and there's an educator account. The only difference between the two is that the educator account has a lesson plan browse and a lesson plan builder, so students obviously don't need that. You sign up and you sign in the same place. So I'm just going to click on this sign into My Britannica. There are two different options for you guys. If you want to sign in using your Google account, you can easily do that. Or if you want to create your own specific My Britannica account, you can do that as well. This is a newer feature, so when I signed up, they didn't have the option to sign in with Google. Really, you can do whatever you'd like, okay? I'm going to show you how to sign up if you just want a My Britannica account and not to sign in, or if you want to sign up using the bottom option rather than your sign into your Google. So once you decide how you want to sign up, you'd click on Create an Account. And as I mentioned, there's two different types. There's student or educator. You both would enter a username of your choice. This is not going to be that remote access username and password. This is a personal account. So your dog's name, your kid's name, whatever it is, your favorite band, something you're going to remember, use that one. Enter that password twice. Students do not need to enter an email. We don't want them to enter an email, just educators. And then you would choose educator account or student account and click create. I assume that most of you will probably just sign in with your Google account. I probably would too if I had that option when I signed up. But you can go ahead and do that now if you want. You can sign in with the Google account. I'm going to sign in with my account. And you'll notice a couple of things here. So along the top, My Britannica expands out. So now I have a My Content, Lesson Plan Browse, and a Sign Out option. What type of account do I have? An educator account. Yes, how do we know? That lesson plan browse option is there. If it was just My Content and sign out, that's what would be a student account. They don't need the lesson plan browse. So let me show you My Content. I like to think of this again as my online file cabinet, right? So all of my favorite pieces are here in the middle. It tells me if it's an article, an image. If it's an article, it tells me what level it's from, level 1, 2, or 3. I can save from any of those levels. That's all here. If this is my online file cabinet, on the left-hand side, those resource packs are my online file folders. They're how I organize all of my favorite pieces. So you can see here, let's go to my artificial intelligence pack. Once I get into my pack, it tells me everything that's in there. So I have 4 videos, 4 articles, 2 images, and 1 document. That document is a graphic organizer that I've uploaded. You can upload or add your own content. So I can go here, I can go to the bottom, and I can upload, a rubric, a guiding questions, a World Book article, heaven forbid if I need to. I can add that all in there. I added a graphic organizer here to help my students, okay? We can also convert this to a lesson plan, and we'll come back to that in a little bit. But you'll see here are all of my items that are in the pack. So you can see I can even type notes to myself. And so this note-taking option really is just however you end up using the pack. If you end up using it just for yourself, that's great. Those notes can be for yourself. But you can also type notes to your grade level partner or to your students, because at the top, there are a number of different options of what you can do with the pack, but one of those options is a share pack option. Every single resource pack has its own unique link. So I can take this link and I can make a QR code out of it, or I can email it to my students, or I can put it on my Google Classroom, or simply I could write this on a whiteboard, and if that's a whiteboard, yeah, okay, it is. I can write it on the whiteboard, or you guys can open up a tab right now, and if you typed in eb.com/108663, you would have my artificial intelligence pack. So let me show you what this looks like to be on the receiving end of a pack. And actually, you know, the first time I'm going to go into a different browser because I'm already logged into that My Britannica account. But again, remember, I might need to authenticate this the first time. And again, that would just be the first time that someone goes there because we didn't use this browser before. So then you'll see that anyone I share this pack with has access to all of those pieces, right? The other, of course. The other thing here is that they cannot change your notes. So if they want, whoever you share the pack with, if they want to change the notes, or maybe they want to change the content, maybe they only want all videos, things like that, they do have the option to then save their resource pack to their own My Britannica account, and they can manipulate the pack however they want, and it won't affect your original pack. So do you need a My Britannica account to receive a link for packs? No, just if you want to edit it at all, okay? So now that I am logged into that account, let's go ahead and, oh boy. Let's go right into my Alexander Hamilton. So now when I click on I clicked on the arrow to get to my favorite star. Now when I click on it, it says, okay, it's already been saved to my favorites, and I can start organizing it right from here. If I have an existing resource pack that I want to save it to, I can. If not, I can create one. And this is a little counterintuitive here. When I click create, it jumps up and acts as an existing resource pack. I don't have to do anything else. It feels like you have to click like save or something like that. You don't have to, it does it. So let's also save this image. It's bolded white, so I know it's saved to my favorites. And now I have an Alexander Hamilton pack. I can click on that. I can even save it to multiple packs. So if I want to save it to Alexander Hamilton and also Founding Fathers pack, I can that way as well. And then when I go back to my content, you'll see that those are at the top and also that those resource packs have been started for me. Now, I'm going to let you play in just a little bit because I always hated when you'd go to a PD and you left with professional development and it was like just meant that it was more work, right? So I'm going to give you time to make some packs, but I want to show you a couple things. If I delete something from a pack, so let's say I delete this Founding Father pack, my Alexander Hamilton image that was in that pack will stay in my favorites. Right? It can be in a file cabinet without being in a file folder. If I delete it out of my favorites, it will not stay in my packs. It can't be in the file cabinet or it can't be in a file folder if it's not in the file cabinet. Make sense? Okay. So really quickly before you guys get playing, I want to show you how else you might use this. So again, I have some standards pulled here. We're going to be using a Britannica article, a video, a primary source document, and some images, and then also a jigsaw activity, kind of like what you did earlier with the homepage features. So with this, I would divide my students into 4 groups. I'm going to assign them a puzzle piece, and then each puzzle piece will also be assigned a content piece. So you guys might be would have been the primary source. Right? One of them might be the videos, another group might be the articles, another group might be images, and maybe they're reading for the main idea in this case. They're going to become an expert on that, that document, that type of content that you gave them, and then they're going to share out with the class. And how I might do this is when I go back into my Britannica school, I have one here. Let's look at it's at the bottom. my first flight. So I did this with the Wright brothers. And you can see I assigned the puzzle piece right next to the content piece, and then I would share that link out with my class or put it on my Google Classroom. And this is a really good way to kind of flip the classroom, right? So at home, maybe all they're doing is reading for their homework, but then when they come into the classroom, they're having the discussions, they are sharing out what they found. So let me show you what that completed graphic organizer would look like, for example, right? Sharing out on their pieces, and then all of the things that we're doing with students. So I just wanted to show you that example. Keep that in mind when you're making packs. And think about what's going to be coming up, right? What are you going to be discussing with your students, whether it's the midterm elections or anything like that. You can start making packs for your staff or for your students. And I'm going to give you guys about 10 minutes or so to create in a pack, and then we will go on to Britannica Escolar. Okay? Awesome. Yes?
On the Google account, does it have to be able to receive emails?
What do you mean?
Well, the way our district set them up, our Google accounts that are linked to the district don't actually receive any emails. So we have a separate, I know.
Okay.
So we can send things to each other,
Okay.
but if you were to send me an email to my school Google account, it would not get there. I have a separate Google account that receives emails.
So you're saying, does that plays into how, if I decide to sign in with my account? So I guess it really depends on, we're not going to be sending you emails for that. It would just be it's really just if you can't remember your username and password at any point, we could email you for that. But you'll want to be able to, within the district, share packs. And it sounds like you can still do that. So I don't think that that's a major concern here.
'Cause we can
But
share
that's a
things
great
through
question.
Google, so-
Yes.
But they set it up that way originally because they.
I didn't even know
want
you
the
could do that.
Yeah, they didn't want the students receiving emails.
That makes sense as well. Yeah.
They just, it was a blank.
Yeah, the only reason we really ask for that email is just in case you forget it and we have a way to look it up.
Okay.
Great question. I'm going to, is it Christine? Cindy, sorry. So I will go back and let the editorial team know. What was your request? You want more,
Well, just when we were doing that biography search, I think there was 16,000, was that Amy? 16,000 and
10,600 change biographies and 1,600 were emails.
okay. Would you know what topic you, I mean, like what were your,
That was middle and high school biographies. That was the total amount in all your eras. You had like 10,600.
got it,
total
okay.
biographies, and out of that total, so the smallest ratio gap was the most recent 1,900 or whatever is present. And then as you got farther back, the numbers dropped down to single digits.
Does anyone need me to walk around or have questions? Okay. I feel like I'm grounded to my chair.
They say you can get up and walk around.
I So is that just your district that does the email like that, or?
I don't know for sure.
Okay,
I knew that's how they originally set it up.
yeah.
But we were in another PD where we had to create a Google account as well, so.
So that came into play.
Both.
Yes. didn't know if maybe on one of her runs.
No, she did actually give me the princess.
Oh,
It's really cute.
that's adorable.
Have to change every once in a while.
Yes. Okay. Let's go ahead and you guys created your resource packs. Hopefully you have a few that you can either get started with or share out. I do want to take the remaining time to go through Britannica Escolar and show you where you can get all your search boxes, graphic organizers, things like that, and then answer any. I have a little Q&A session. So I just went to escolar.eb.com again, and because you've already entered that username and password on these devices, you should be able to get there directly. So this is our fully Spanish database. It's K through 8th grade. And the look and feel is very similar to Britannica School, which I love about that. So if a student knows this and then they transition to Britannica School, they're not learning a whole new database type of a thing. So I'm actually going to go into the primary level, which will be our elementary level, K through 5. You'll see, again, bright, engaging, made for our littles. We can perform a search right at the top. Again, our searches would be fully in Spanish here, so I'm searching for the lion. You'll see at the top, I can get my images and my videos. I also can bump up. So just like in Britannica School, if I needed a higher article, I can get that middle school article right from this page. When I go into my lion article, I have all of those really great features. The build is the same. I also have that quick click dictionary available. So there is the definition in Spanish, which is right. You also, or in English, but it's the definition there. And then also those read aloud functions are available in this resource. So that's brand new. That was one of those things that I'd go to trainings and we would hear, and I'd go back and they'd be like, I don't know if we could ever do that, blah, 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 blah. Well, turns out they found a way to do that. So now it reads aloud in Spanish, highlighted text, everything like that is there as well. You'll also notice that it recognizes that I'm signed into my Britannica account. Now, when I go here, it's not gonna have all of those packs that I have from Britannica School, but the workaround here would be to create a pack, whether it's in the lion, right? And then take that link and put that in the notes section of your Britannica School pack, okay? So you can kind of work around that as well there. But all of those features are there. You can upload your own content to this pack as well, adding graphic organizers, things like that. Let me show you just what the homepage looks like for each of the levels. So we've got the biographies, videos, the animal kingdom, explore the world, or the world atlas, and then also some different activities. It's got an animal of the day, and those did you know videos are also here in Spanish. If I go to my secondary level, I have my search on the top, my Explore Britannica section, interesting videos. I like to point out the new articles, even for this resource, are on the middle school homepage, and then it has links directly from the BBC on the secondary level. Okay. Any questions about Escolar? I will tell you this. I got this question yesterday. Someone said, if I look up a article in Britannica School, is that exact same article in Escolar? And the answer is no. There are more articles in Britannica School than there are in Escolar, but you're still going to have a lot of the basic articles. And again, that's another thing. If you have something, whether it's, if you're doing Native Americans or anything like that, that you want the Spanish article on, feel free, or Escolar, feel free to send that our way. Okay? All right, so on the back of I'm going to show you two other things. So when I go to BritannicaLearn.com, it's written on the back of your guided tour. It's actually BritannicaLearn.com/resources. I'm just going to go to BritannicaLearn.com to start there and show you two things. When I get here, and I can email this specific blog out to Oscar, and he can send it out to all the attendees. There is a California-specific blog that is the jackpot. It has everything that you'll need in it. So I'm going to go to blog, and then it's actually made its way down to the second page. So I'm going to go on page 2, and it's the Britannica Welcomes California Schools and Libraries. And like I said, this is just full of information. So meet your new toolkit. You have links to get to the resources, different ways to spread the word. So we have some social media announcements that you can, put on your school's Twitter or whatever it is. I don't tweet. Facebook, there you go. We have some bookmarks and posters that you can print out. Those bookmarks, you can add your remote access type right on there, add that remote access username and password to send home with students. You also have a 3-minute video if you're just in charge of going back to your school and being like, hey, we have this great resource. Let me tell you about it. Here's 3 minutes. You can sign up for webinars. Our FAQs are here, following us on all of the information. There's a parent letter, so you can download this and enter, again, that remote access username. Like I said, this is a good page to kind of bookmark, and you have all the resources there. Here at the bottom, this Did You Know You Can? This is where you can find the graphic organizers. You can find these in a number of places, but this is one of them. So when I go here, it takes me, gotta think. It takes me to all of those graphic organizers, and you can actually, they're fillable, writable PDFs, so you can use them that way if you want. And then if I would have just gone to Britannica School or BritannicaLearn.com/resources, this is where you can get all your links. So I'm gonna go here. I'm going to choose my product, right? This has all Britannica products right now. I'm going to go to either Escolar, depending on what I'm looking for, or I can go to Britannica School. Again, my graphic organizers are there, but here you're going to get a little bit more information. So we've got some promotional materials. You'll find that parent letter. Here's the guided tour that I printed out without Jennifer Keating's name on it, so you guys can get that if you need it. And then here are some short training videos as well. So all of that's going to be here. If you want students to sign up for a My Britannica account, there's a video just to show the students. If you want educators to show up for sign up, you can sign up, see all the capabilities and show them that there as well. Okay. Your search boxes and logos will be on this page. And again, that's just at britannicalearn.com/resources. And then we clicked on Britannica School. How are we feeling? It's a lot of information. It's good. Questions, comments? I have a list of things I'm going back for, but anything else you guys want me to add? Go over again? Everyone's like, no, I'll go get lunch. How about our listeners, our watchers? Oscar, are there any emails?
I have not received any emails.
Okay. Wake them up. Just kidding.
I'm excited to go back and share.
Good. Good. I'll put my contact information in one more time. We don't have any questions. You can feel, but again, that's all up there. So if you think of questions, feel free to shoot me an email.
So would we get our remote access?
I can give it to you. So I have that document. Great question. Let me turn my computer on. I didn't print that one out. All right. So you are South Union Bay, correct?
South Bay Union.
South Bay. Yeah, I read it wrong. Sorry. Okay, all lowercase. Your username is SBUSD. Your password is lowercase I Beach, BEACH. There you go. That makes sense to you then. Okay. I'm like, oh, they're following the iPhone. Everything's I. No. Okay. Anyone else? What district?
San Marcos Unified.
San Marcos. All right, your username, all lowercase, SMUSD, and your password is all lowercase, SMUSD 2017.
Okay, thank you.
Any other districts? Yes.
Oceanside?
Let's try it.
So if you don't have any of that, we have not filled out the form. Is that correct?
Usually, yes, because they would probably do it all, right? Type of thing. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have an Oceanside. I have an Ocean View. Okay. Yes, I don't have an Oceanside. So that's a good sign that we probably haven't set up the teachingbooks.net California setup. Any other districts? Ma'am in the green. Ma'am, I'm just keep referring to you. Ma'am.
Private charter, I don't know if they have or not, but, Valley Prep. And I work for University.
Let's see. Sorry, let me see. Get to my V's. Yeah, I don't have a Valiant Prep. And again, if anyone else who's following along wants to email me or Oscar, we can get you those. And like I said, so Oscar, you did put the resources online. Okay, great. Yep, and then I will email the blog to Oscar and he can send it out to all of you guys so you can have that if you didn't find it already.
But you can create your own user account. Anybody can.
But this username and password that I'm telling is not for accounts, it's for remote access. Yes, so you wouldn't want to use that username and password, but that's a common confusion. Because, you know, you guys don't have enough username and passwords to remember.